Hello, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to be looking at some artwork from thisiscolossal.com. First will be Victoria Rose Richards. So Victoria Rose Richards, the artist, uses a combination of tight, straight lines and lush French knots to emulate the rural patterns of closely cropped fields, divided by hedges and woods. Richards, who is 21 years old and based in southwest Devon, UK, draws inspiration from the natural beauty that surrounds her. She says, "My art is influenced by my love of the environment and conservation, which I developed during my biology degree I completed this year." Richards tells Colossal, a lifelong artist who also manages chronic pain and Asperger's syndrome, Richards landed on embroidery during college as a way to lift her spirits and engage her mind between classes and studying. She says, "I pulled some nice blues and greens out of my grandmother's old embroidery tin and had my first go at an embroidery landscape in October 2018. I thought these were really cool works. I love the colors she chooses and the lines. Thought these were really beautiful, nice details, nice compositions, interesting, kind of a new way to approach embroidery. Thought it was really fun and cool. I'd like to own one of these. Next we have Dylan Gebbia Richards, if I'm saying that pronounced. His large-scale paintings, which appear to escape from their canvas. His rugged works mirror the structure of natural forms, such as molten rock or coral. He says, "I see my works as their own landscapes. I allow chance, the driving force behind all natural phenomena, to sculpt the structure of my paintings." He says he gains his inspiration from the vastness of the natural world, and his artworks explore aesthetics that merge between the microscopic and macroscopic. He says, "I find the enormity of the natural world awe-inspiring." He explains, "Landscapes, which are immense, seem intimate. Simultaneously, counterintuitively, these large spaces create the feeling of an embrace." While Gebbia Richards' paintings vary in size, all are built to engulf the viewer. He says, "Sometimes this is very literal, like in my room-size installations, which encompass those inside," he says. "But even with my smaller pieces, I'm looking for the work to expand outwards, attempting to generate the feeling of a place which is much larger, like observing a mountain range." The scale of his paintings inspire and delight, while his use of bold color palette adds a hint of magic to each creation. I thought these were really colorful, vibrant works. Very cool, very fun, and a different way to look at paintings. Very, as if you're inside of a cave. Also, I thought that was just really cool. I like work that tends to push your awareness of what actually is artwork, what is painting. Next we have Charles Petitillon. He has just unveiled a cumulus cloud composed of 100,000 white balloons illuminated from the inside at London's Convent Garden, titled Heartbeat. The installation was created as part of the London Design Festival and stretches the length of the South Hall ceiling of the Market Building. Petitillon is known for his use of white balloons to fill unusual spaces, a photographic series he refers to as Invasions. This is by far his largest installation to date and his first public art piece. And this is what he says: "The balloon invasions I create are metaphors. Their goal is to change the way in which we see the things we live alongside each day without really noticing them. I wanted to represent the market building as the beating heart of this area, connecting its past with the present to allow visitors to re-examine its role at the heart of London's life. Each balloon has its own dimensions, and yet is part of a giant but fragile composition that creates a floating cloud above the energy of the market below. Next we have Jirjo Elderman. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. These works are so precise that they translate without question as photograph. Even with double, triple, and quadruple takes, it is nearly impossible to imagine that the pieces have been produced from precisely placed oil paint. The objects Edelman depicts are not perfectly wrapped pieces, but rather haphazardly taped and constructed, often on irregularly shaped canvases to heighten the trompe-l'oeil effect. Scotch tape and twine hold the wrapping paper in place, with wrinkles covering the bright and often reflective package's surface. I thought these were really cool, really fun, whimsical works. I love works that are kind of trick your eye a little bit. Really nice. Again, I'd love to own one of these, and there's the artist himself making his work. Next we have Marcus Wendt. While on a recent trip through Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Seoul, the London-based photographer Marcus Wendt found himself suffering from a bout of jet lag-induced insomnia, and ended up wandering the streets of several cities late at night. With a camera in hand, he captured these mesmerizing shots that channel the cyberpunk vibe of movies like Blade Runner, where narrow urban alleyways are bathed in cool ultraviolet light. Over several days, Wendt worked his way through the Kowloon area of Hong Kong. I thought these were really beautiful. I love the colors in these. Very dreamlike. Very kind of sci-fi, dystopic feel to them. Very vibrant as well. Beautiful. I have never been to Hong Kong. I would really love to check it out. These places are really beautiful. I love the way the colors pop, and it's sort of a haunting feeling to them. Next we have Jason Sefi. Pronouncing that okay. He's a Miami-based artist. He deftly renders the intricate patterns of old Persian carpets with a mixture of acrylic and ink. While the paintings utilize familiar motifs in rug design like leaves and geometric shapes, Seif introduces colors not normally associated with the heavy textiles, creating his own interpretations that reflect his mood or thoughts while executing the painting. Robert Fontaine Gallery said what initially drew him to these works was not only the aesthetic, but the dense history and meaning behind the imagery. The way the weavers were able to link each rug's particular pattern, palette, and style with a specific identifiable and geographic area or nomadic tribe really stood out to him. Jason aims to mirror this practice with the take on his carpets by having each color and pattern specifically correlate to what state of mind and emotion he was in